Have you ever heard a word so powerful it could literally make a goblin run for its life? Well, today we're jumping into an old Korean folktale to uncover a linguistic secret, one that connects two languages in a way you would never, ever expect. So, there's this great story. A man is hiding from these really powerful goblins, right? And all he does is crack a nut. But the sound is so terrifying that the goblins just drop everything, even their magical clubs, and run. But why? What was so scary about that one little sound?
Well, it turns out the answer isn't just about how loud it was. It's actually about the very origin of language itself. That single crack is a key, and it unlocks a really fascinating piece of hidden history.
Okay, so that story's our way in. The goblin's fear is what leads us to this amazing linguistic theory called the action-sounds law, which basically explains how some of our most fundamental words even came to exist.
And the idea is actually beautiful and simple. You know that explosive, sharp gae sound you hear when something shatters? That's not just a sound effect. That is the actual linguistic DNA for the verb to break in Korean. The sound literally became the word. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The ancient version of this sound was way more intense than anything we hear today. It had a kind of power that's really softened over the centuries. Just look at the difference here. The modern Korean gae is definitely strong. But medieval Korean, bspaemulda, that was on a whole other level. It was this complex, explosive burst of sound that used both your lips and your throat. You can almost feel why that would be so startling to hear. These are some of the ancient characters that represented those sounds. You can think of them less like letters and more like instructions for creating a kind of verbal explosion. This is the sound the goblins heard. Not just a simple crack, but the raw linguistic energy of something being violently broken apart. But a sound that powerful doesn't just fade away into nothing. No, this sound traveled. It actually crossed the sea and evolved into something totally new. That explosive bspae from medieval Korean. Linguists believe it's the direct ancestor of the much simpler, cleaner ka sound that you find in modern Japanese. The energy is still there, but the form has been streamlined over time. Okay, and this right here brings us to the absolute heart of this whole discovery. We're going to look at two words for to bite. One is Korean, one is Japanese. And on the surface, they seem totally different, but they share the exact same ancient root. And here they are, Kkaemulda in Korean and Kamu in Japanese. At first glance, yeah, they don't exactly look or sound like twins, do they? But now that we know about their ancient ancestor, we can start to trace the family resemblance. This slide just lays out the journey perfectly. Let's walk through it. So the ancient Korean word for to bite was bspaemulda. Okay, step one. That super explosive first sound, bspae, softens as it moves into Japanese, becoming ka. Then, the second part, mil, gets simplified. The L sound just drops away, and it becomes mu. You put those two together, and the ancient bspaemulda transforms directly into the modern Japanese kamu. It's a perfect traceable evolution. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's a cool coincidence for one word. But here's the thing, it's not a coincidence. This exact same pattern of sound change shows up again and again. And that's how we know it's a linguistic rule, not just random chance. The pattern holds up. The Korean root for to na, gae, you can see it shares that hard K sound with the Japanese kaku. And the Korean word for to cut, gun, with that really tense k sound, softens into the Japanese ku, which means to eat or bite something off. The more examples you find, the stronger the case gets. So, what's the big takeaway here? Let's bring this all back to our terrified goblins and put all these pieces together. Think about the journey we've just been on. We started with a simple folktale, right? And from there, we uncovered a fundamental law of language, we heard the echo of an ancient, explosive sound, and we followed it across the sea to find its modern-day descendant in a totally different language. It just shows you, language isn't just a tool we use, it's like an archaeological record. So here's the bottom line. That goblin wasn't just running from a loud crack. It was fleeing from the sonic ghost of a powerful ancient word, a word that carries the shared linguistic DNA of Korean and Japanese right inside of it. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If a connection this deep can be hidden inside of children's story and the simple word for to bite, what other incredible histories are just waiting to be discovered, buried just beneath the surface of the words we use every single day?